Bayou, a place where the land itself seems to breathe, and the trees whisper secrets older than time. It's a place where the night wraps itself around you, thick and suffocating. Some say the Bayou is cursed, that it holds memories of things that were never meant to be. Tonight, I'm taking you deep into the heart of those shadows, where one Halloween night, a group of kids ventured too far into the swamp, and learned a lesson they'd never forget. Welcome to Deadscape Diaries. Tonight's tale is called Whispers in the Bayou. I grew up on the outskirts of a small town in western Louisiana. It was a place where the trees whispered old secrets, and the bayou rolled by like a slow, dark river of memory. The town was steeped in its own brand of faith, but there was always an undercurrent of superstition that no one really talked about. It wasn't until Halloween night in 1987, when I was 13, that I would get a taste of what people whispered about, but never dared to speak aloud. It all started when my older brother, Ricky, who was 17, offered to look after me and my friends for the night. Ricky was a tough kid with a reputation that preceded him. He wasn't exactly a saint, but to the town he was someone who could be trusted. He was the kind of guy who could smooth talk his way out of anything. That night, he agreed to keep an eye on me, even though I knew it wasn't really about looking out for me. He was just using the opportunity to get some space from our mom, who had a way of smothering him with her constant supervision. The whole town knew that Ricky wasn't the model child, but for some reason, that night he seemed unusually eager to lead us out into the night. His best friend, Robbie, and I had been friends for years, ever since elementary school. But this Halloween, Robbie wasn't acting like himself. He was jumpy, quiet, and kept glancing over his shoulder like something was following him. But I didn't think much of it. After all, it was Halloween night, and we were heading out to have some fun. Besides, there were 5 of us, and Ricky was always in charge. We set out from the house at dusk, trick-or-treating in our neighborhood before heading deeper into the rural parts of town. Beyond the lights and houses where the forest and swamp began, the wind had a cold bite to it. The fog settled in quickly as the sun dipped beneath the horizon. The atmosphere was thick with the smell of damp earth and rotting leaves. But we were laughing and talking, not really noticing how far we'd wandered, or how quickly the familiar, safe feeling of Halloween turned into something a lot darker. It wasn't long before we found ourselves at the edge of the swamp. Trees loomed like skeletal giants, the shadows deep and unnerving. Robbie's unease grew more apparent, and he even suggested we turn back, but Ricky pushed forward, grinning, as though leading us into the heart of the unknown was all part of the plan. The air here felt different, heavier, like something was waiting for us. "What's the matter, Robbie?" Ricky teased. "You scared?" "There's nothing out here except the night." But Robbie didn't reply. He just stood there, watching the shadows move. His eyes were wide, his hands shaking, and I could see the fear etched deep in his face. At that point, Ricky stopped and looked over his shoulder at the rest of us. "Gather around, I've got a story for you." He motioned to a patch of dry ground where the roots of an old cypress tree formed a crude bench. We sat in a semicircle as Ricky lit a cigarette into a long drag, the smoke rising like mist into the night. "What's the story, Ricky?" I asked, already sensing something wasn't right. Ricky never told stories. It was more about action than words, but tonight felt different. He leaned in closer, his voice lowering to a hush. "This is the story of the Hollow Man." The Hollow Man wasn't a legend that had circulated in our town. It was something older, more sinister. Ricky's tone sent chills down my spine. Years ago, they say he was a man named Nathaniel Beauregard. He was the town's preacher, and he had a daughter, Evelyn. She was sweet, kind, always bringing food to the sick and helping the needy. But one day, Evelyn went missing. People searched for days, but there was no sign of her. They found her father, though. He was different. Ricky paused for effect. The air felt colder, and even Robbie seemed to lean in closer, his unease now palpable. Some say Nathaniel went mad, that he made a deal with something in the swamp. That thing, it gave him power to find his daughter. But when he did, she wasn't the same. She was twisted. And from that night on, Nathaniel was no longer human. He was the Hollow Man. I felt my stomach tighten. The Hollow Man was a creature of the swamp, something that could disguise itself as a person. Its victims would disappear, dragged into the swamp, to feed the thing that had been birthed from the land itself. Ricky's voice took on a deeper, darker tone as he spoke. People say that if you listen long enough in the swamp, you'll hear it. The hollow voice calling you to come closer. But the hollow man doesn't want you to come to him. He wants you to follow him. Let's go find him, Ricky said with a grin. He stood, offering his hand to pull me up. No, let's go home, Robbie said, his voice cracking. He looked over at me, his eyes pleading. But Ricky wasn't having it. Come on, chicken, you'll see. There's nothing to be afraid of. He grabbed Robbie's arm and yanked him to his feet, pulling him into the murky swamp. We followed, though I was unsure whether it was out of fear or excitement. We walked deeper into the darkness, with the only sounds being the crackle of dry leaves underfoot and the occasional croak of a frog in the distance. After a while, we came to a clearing. It was eerily still, the moonlight casting long shadows across the ground. That's when we heard it, faint, almost imperceptible, but there, a voice at first. I thought it was the wind, then it came again, closer this time. Robbie froze. That's it, the hollow man, he whispered. I couldn't move. My mind raced with the story Ricky had just told us. What if it was true? What if the thing was real? The voice came again, louder this time. Come closer. I turned to Ricky, but he was gone. I scanned the clearing, and there, standing in the shadows, was a figure. A man, or what I thought was a man, with hollow eyes that seemed to reflect the moonlight. His face was gaunt, stretched tight like old leather. His skin seemed to ripple as if something beneath was moving. Robbie screamed. Before I knew it, the thing lunged, faster than I could react. It grabbed Robbie by the throat, pulling him into the darkness. I reached out, but it was too late. His screams echoed in the night, but they were quickly swallowed by the swamp. I ran. I didn't stop until I was back in town, gasping for my breath, my heart pounding in my chest. The moon hung high in the sky, but all I could hear was the silence of night. The next day, they found Robbie's body in the bayou, half submerged in the water. His eyes were wide open, his mouth frozen in a scream. No one ever spoke of what happened again, but I knew what I'd seen. And I knew that Ricky was never the same after that night. He avoided the bayou, stopped hanging out with us, and even stopped talking about the hollow man. But I heard the rumors. Some said he had gone into the swamp looking for something. But what he brought back wasn't human. He was changed. Or maybe he was never human at all. And now when I walk near the swamp, I still hear it, the hollow voice whispering from the darkness. I know what it's saying though. It's calling me, just like it called Robbie. But I'm not going back. Some say the hollow man is still out there, waiting for his next victim, just beyond the trees in the thick fog of the bayou. But remember, not all legends are just stories. Some are warnings. You ever find yourself lost in the dark, thick fog of the bayou? Listen closely. You may hear it, just a whisper of the wind. And if you're not careful, it may call you closer. Thank you for joining me on tonight's journey into the unknown. If you've enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more tales from the dark. Until next time, remember, keep your eyes open and your mind sharp, because you never know what's waiting just beyond the shadows.